Hello guys, welcome along to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Nige here from Nigel's Modelling Bench, and if this is your first time visiting, thanks for coming along. And if you like what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe, and if you don't like what you see, hit the like button anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do today is a inbox review of an Antonov, and I know what you're thinking. The title says 225 and then you've got a 124. Well, I've started off with this one. A message for you guys about Revell. If Revell launch a kit and you like it, go and get it, okay? Perhaps leave it a few months, let the prices come down a bit, because invariably with Revell kits, they go out and then they start to get a bit reduced in price. But Revell have a habit of doing what they've done with this. This was released, I think, back around 2014. Is there a date on here? I'm sure it was about 2014. 2005, blimey. 2005. So just shows how time flies. Yeah, they launched this, and you can see there the price I paid for it was $22.99, and then after they run out it disappeared, and that was that. And now they're becoming harder and harder to come by. This is a brand new kit, still in the box, still sealed up, and it's an aircraft that I love to bits. A little bit of story about it just quickly. When I used to work for Rolls-Royce, I think it was about 1995, but then judging by the date on this kit, it could have been 1970. But one of their test beds at Rolls-Royce Bristol was moved to China, and one of these great big AN-124s came in and picked it up, and we actually got on top of the factory and watched the plane come in and land, which was incredible, which we were allowed to do, we weren't breaking any rules. And I remember when we went to see it take off, we went and stood on the side of the road, and I can remember standing behind that as it took off. By Christ, the noise and the power is just incredible. So, but that's not what this review is about. If you want to see a review of this kit, then please leave a message in the comments below, because there are a couple of reviews, but they're not really very thorough. And I have got a bit of an Antonov thing at the moment. So here's the kit I've just bought, and this is literally just come 10 minutes ago in the post, and I got this from Jadlam models, you can see there, Jadlam Toys and Hobbies, and I got it through eBay. Now this kit I think retails about £89 or something. There is a new one coming out which I think it retails about £69, and that's the one with the Russian, I don't know what it's called now, the Russian version of NASA. It's got it's red and white instead of the blue, yellow and white, and it's basically what this aircraft was built for, which was for carrying the Russian shuttle. So basically, Revell have boxed this or made this kit and released it. I think, was it released last year, 2008? Yeah, 2018. This kit was released, and it is massive. It's got 227 parts, as you can see. It's got a length of 58.7 centimeters and a wingspan of 61.2. So it's not much smaller than a 72nd scale B-52. Now you know how big they are. So that means this aircraft is almost twice the size of a B-52. Wow. It is really something else. It's an aircraft I want to see before I die. It's an aircraft I want to see in the flesh. I've seen the 124. You know all about my history with the C5. This is something I really want to see. I want to hear those 6 engines and just get a feeling for it. I've actually been in touch with Andy, one of my followers, who's a mine of information, and he basically tells me that this plane is currently laid up in Ukraine, not being used, as it has nothing to do at the moment. So I'm hoping and praying it's going to be coming to the UK sometime soon. If anybody knows what's happening with it, or if it's coming over, please let me know. I want to go and see it. So I bought this kit. It was on eBay. As I say, they retail for about $89.99, and Jadlam put them up with an auction. So I fancied my chances. I stuck 40 quid in, I think, or £45 or something, and I got it. So basically got the kit for like half price. Now you will see them doing them on special offer, like £67 or something, but 40 odd quid for a kit like this I think is a bargain. But as I said earlier, you will probably see these in, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. You'll see these being knocked out for like 25 quid somewhere, and then they'll be gone. And then come sort of 2024, you're going to really want one, and people are going to be charging over £100 for it. And that's the way it goes with these Revell kits. The Arado AR196-3, is it? I bought 2 of them. One of them I paid £10 for. I think now they're worth about 50 quid. So yeah, when you see Revell kits, if you want it, buy it when it's out, because very soon it'll be gone and then people will be making silly money on it. So that's what we've got on the front of the box. On the side of the box here, we've got some information about the model. I can put up there, you can pause and read it if you want to. And then we've got some pictures of the built-up prototype, and I do know for a fact we can have all lots of different options on this. I like this, keep packing for later questions. I don't know why they keep putting that on their boxes. And then flipping the box over, on the end we can see here that the kit number is 04958. And then on the side of the box here we've got all the colours we need in Revell colours. We can always use different colours. And then we've got pictures there of the Revell stuff. And then we've got here an image of the sprues within the box, which is something that Revell do a lot now. And as you can see, this box is still sealed. I haven't looked inside, so let's get the tape cut open like so. We've got 6 lots of tape on here. The other thing is I bought this and it's come with a voucher from Jadlam to get 10% off any more purchases, so that's good to know, because Jadlam tend to be one of the cheaper people out there, but generally I find if I go to Antics and say, can you match them, they will. So that's why I get most of my kits from Antics, but I don't think Antics would have done this for 40 quid. And there we go. So we've got in the box here, the box could have been smaller probably, so we've got a bag there which has got undercarriage components, some interior and that. So there's 3 sprues in there, all in white. Then we've got our engines and everything here. As you know, I've already got the metallic details engine set for this one. So we've got 6 lots of fan blades to go in the front there, which look lovely. And then we've got our actual engine cowlings there. And we've got a cockpit, which is looking good. Here's the spine and one of the wings and tail planes by the look of it. More tail planes, more wings, all bagged separately to save them getting scratched, which is really nice. And we've got a big bag here, which is obviously the main fuselage half, so the box needed to be this big for them alone, I guess. So there we go, nicely all nicely recessed panel lines and everything. And then we've got 2 clear sprues here, which are going to be like windows, landing lights and whatever. And then we've got the canopy there, or the windscreen should I say. And then we've got the instructions and the decals thoughtfully put inside the instruction book. Thank you, Revell. I have got so many kits lately where the decals have been thrown in the box like that, and then all the sprues have gone on the top and they've all gone and scratched it all away. So thank you very much, Revell, for having the thought to put the decals inside the instructions. And while we've got them out, we may as well have a look. As you can see, they're fairly glossy. They're made by Daco, so they're going to be really nice, and I mean really nice. They look like they've got some little slits on there, you can catch it in the light. But yeah, we've got some lovely stenciling there. I know these things tend to be covered in red X's. It's got some stenciling there, you can see. And we've got the Antonov Design Bureau with their phone number and email and everything. I should email them and ask them when they're going to be going again. And there we go. So all looking lovely. So that's a spare 52. So the thought to give you spares there in case you mess them up. They look like they've got sort of undercuts in them, which is very strange. That's a pretty lengthy decal sheet. That's well, it's basically, how long is that? 150, 300, it's about 460 millimeters long, so it's quite a big decal sheet. Not as big as the one you get with the 124, but it's quite big. So I'm going to put that back in the box with its protective cover on, and I'll put some tape on that, I think. And then we've got our blurb there about health and safety, and then we've got our instruction book. So let me get this this book out and we'll have a look. Okay, so we've got the parts back in their box now over here. It is a very nice box as well, I must add. It's double thickness what they normally have, so fair play to Revell. It's still not as strong as like Trumpeters, but it's a massive improvement on some of the boxes we've seen in the past. As you know, if you've got a stash, you can't put any Revell stuff at the bottom because it all just gets crushed. So we've got a lovely instruction book, which is very common for Revell these days, and slightly glossy, so if you've got a bit of reflection, I'm sorry, but when we get inside we should be okay. So basically we've got a picture of the built-up model on the front. As you can see, it is a level 5, although I should imagine this could be tackled by a fairly intermediate model if you've got a couple of kits under your belt. What will be interesting to see if they've designed this kit in the way that you can take the wings off for ease of storage. Right, so we've got all our, it says please note the enclosed safety advice, so read all that if you're a beginner. It's worth bearing all that in mind. I'm just going to check we're all in the camera here. Yes, we are. When I get my new camera, I'll be able to see on a monitor what it is I'm actually doing. So we've got all our, this is basically our beginner's guides here about gluing parts and painting them and everything. Looking at the lid, don't put your paint pot lid down that way because you'll end up with a messy bench. And it's showing you for smaller stuff you can paint it on the sprue and that, and then this is your decals and everything. And then you can go on to revell.de and you'll get some tips and tricks off them. So basically this is your legend, and if you are new to the hobby, these are the symbols you're going to be looking at, so it's worth you know, bearing these in mind, and as you grow older you will just remember these and know them. It's a bit like the Airfix kits of old used to have a plain circle or a black square for clear parts and stuff. So yeah, you will get to learn them. And then we'll go into our colour call outs. So we've got some more legends here. It's telling you to use this Revell clear glue. Where is it? Here it is. Contacts are clear. Don't bother. It's not very good. Get this one, micro crystal clear. It's a million times better. And then you've got your decal solution there. They're telling you for use on decals. So we've got our paints here. So basically what they're calling out for here is your Revell paint, which is your standard. This is a typical Revell aquacolor paint pot. You can see the number on the top. So they're calling out 04, which is white. So I'll show you, it's actually the colour you're looking for. Oh, that's a gloss white, this is a matte white. So 04, you see this one is 05, 36105 is the actual colour, but they never use the 361, they just use the 04 bit, so you can see that there. And typical with Revell, they have you mixing paint to get the required colour. That looks like it's probably going to be like a zinc chromate colour there. But have a look at the online. There's loads of videos of this aircraft, lots of pictures and stuff, so you can see what colours it is they're calling out. And this green colour looks gorgeous inside there. So going over, the other thing is to know, I've noticed that a lot of kit manufacturers, they'll tell you to use this brighter green, and when you actually look at the videos, it's actually a very dull, very matte green in reality. So we've got our sprue trees here, which is all numbered, which is nice. And then we've got our sprue trees there. So there's not actually a lot to this kit. As you can see, there's not a million sprues, but you know, it's its size which makes its presence on this one. So we've got 4 different versions here. So we can have in flight, although I don't believe we didn't have a stand, so I guess you'd hang off the ceiling. Version 2 is going to be it sat on its landing gear like it would be at the end of the runway or whatever, just sat there on its wheels. Version 3 is going to be sat there with the nose open and the cargo loading ramp up. And then version 4 is with the nose down and the ramp out. Now this aircraft doesn't have a rear bay, only has the front. So basically whenever it stops for cargo, it drops the front down, just like the 124. It tips the front landing gear forward, and then the loading ramp comes out, and then everything can go in that way and then come out the same way. It doesn't have a rear door like the C5A or the C130 or whatever. So so there you are. You make your choices there. So, and they've color coded it all, and you've got a symbol at the top here, which is a nice touch. So you're only going to be doing this one if you're having it open, because there's no point in having all the cranes and everything in there if you're having it all closed up. So basically telling you to do some painting. The question mark here is saying be aware, and then you're going to add your cranes onto your roof there, and then we're going to add some bulkheads, and it looks very similar to the construction of the 124, to be honest. And then we're going to add some more bulkheads onto the roof, and then we're going to slot the floor in. So we're going to slide the floor in through there and then glue it in, and then add the side walls on. And here we've got our paint, which is the green and the grey inside there. Paint up our cockpit, drop that on the top, drop in that little fuselage support piece there. Then we're going to start on our undercarriage bays, which they've got plenty of detail in them. Be interesting to see if they're covered in ejector pin marks. And now we need to be a little bit mindful of what we're doing with our undercarriage, because this one is you can see this is the two versions, the green and the red, where it's sat on its wheels parallel to the ground. Okay, so obviously with this one, with the nose tilted, you can see the undercarriage also tilts. So this is for the green and the red, and then this one here, you've got the angled undercarriage for the nose tipping down. Then we're going to add our undercarriage bays to the cargo floor, which is nice. Then we're going to start on our fuselage, paint the inside of the cockpit area, paint the inside of the loading area, and then we're going to cut off these clear parts and glue them in. Now it's telling us here to make sure we don't leave any sprue. If you have got a small saw, it's good to get one. If you haven't got one, get one. These are made by JLC. You can get these from modellingtools.co.uk, and they are absolutely brilliant. It's the best, I think, the best razor saw money can buy, and they're really, really good for removing clear parts. One of the issues, especially with older kits, if you cut clear parts off like that, you're likely to put a crack right through the middle of the part, so be careful. And then we've got some clear parts here. It's telling you to put them in, and what's nice about these is they've got a small round porthole, but they've got a massive clear part behind it, so you can get glue on there without worrying about messing up the bit you can actually see through. So that's a nice touch. Although if you want to, what you probably do is come in with some liquid crystal clear afterwards on a cocktail stick and just put it in the windows there. And if you haven't seen that, my C141 build, today is the 9th of October 2019, to give you an idea of time, and I've just uploaded part 9 of the C141 build, so it's probably going to be part 11 or something, or even 12, where I actually do the crystal clear window trick, so look out for that one. Moving forward, we're going to add some more detail to the inside of the nose there, and then if we're having it on our wheels without the bay open, then it's going to have a different part going in there. So that's interesting. Not sure quite what's going on there. Then we're going to add our interior there into the fuselage. You can see it's telling us where we need to glue, and we've got to put 20 kilograms up, or 20 grams, sorry, 20 kilograms, 20 grams up there. If I were you, 25, just to be on the safe side. And then we're going to bring the other half of the fuselage on together, add in this massive main spar part, and then put in the clear screen there. Then we're going to add the spine, which is the rear part of the fuselage, down. I'm hoping this falls on a panel line. And then we've also got a spar for the tailplanes as well, which is a nice touch. And it looks like the wings may be removable. Then we've got the belly going on. So the fuselage sides literally are just the sides. They're not complete halves. So we're going to have some little seams to deal with there. Telling you to use tape. Be very careful with your tape if you're a beginner. Don't put the tape on and then put your liquid cement in, because the liquid cement will capillary end of the tape and ruin your model. And here they're telling you to use clear. What? Oh, okay. They're telling you to use clear for gluing this part in here, this light. So I thought, what on earth's going on there? Why would you use clear to glue this together? So yeah, you glue that around that spar. So it could be, looking at how that goes together, it could be that you could assemble the wing and then slot it onto the spar afterwards. Maybe do some trim. We'll have a look at the parts in a minute. And then here we're going to make our little tail fins up, and then add our tail planes on. Add the tail fins, making sure they're at the right angle. So we've got those there, and then we're going to add these huge pods on the top. Not sure what they're for. I have seen people ask the question. The answer came back as it was for carrying Buran. Not true, because I've seen pictures of Buran and it's sat on the back of it and it's not even touching those huge humps. So I'm not sure exactly what they are. I'm not sure if there's they're shrouding some sort of strength mechanism for the main spar, to save headroom in the actual cabin bay, in the actual cargo bay. Then we're going to start on our engines here. So we're adding the back of our compressors there, and the turbine blades going in there. Adding the front on, nice touch. They've done this as one piece, so you haven't got a seam to worry about in there. Then we're going to add all that to inside the cowlings, and then we're going to build up all our engines. And then we've got our pylons here, which are going to be for our flaps. Not sure we haven't got separate flaps, so you might want to cut them off and drop them. More pylons there. We're going to add our engines to the wings, and then we're going to start on the nose gear bay and adding the nose gear in and then adding this part in here. Surely not going to put the nose gear into the nose. That's if it's in the flying condition. You're going to put that in there and just glue it into there. If it's going to be sat on its wheels, you're going to glue it into there. Not quite sure what's going on here because they've got A13 there and there's A13 there. We'll have to look at the parts in a minute, but we're going to look at separate undercarriage bays. So the undercarriage bay's roof is actually part of the nose that folds up by the look of it, and then the actual undercarriage legs just go onto the front of the fuselage there. So that's what that is. So if you are building it with its wheels down, with the nose down, then they will actually get glued into the nose. Okay, and then if you're building it with it up, the actual roof of the undercarriage bay is going to go in the nose, and then the undercarriage legs themselves go on here. So you're going to have them either led down flat with it tilted down, or you're going to have them vertical with it sat on its pads there. Then we're going to add our gear doors. So if it's in flight, they're going to be closed. If it's like this, they're going to be open. And then we've got the gear doors on the front here doing the same. And then we've got ladder detail going in there. Adding our millions of wheels. Are they single mouldings? Yes, they are by the look of it. So let's hope there's not full of sink marks. That's one of the problems with single piece moulded wheels. And then we've got some parts going on there, some more wheels going in there. Adding in the nose with the hydraulic rams and everything, or that may just be steadies. And then we've got a ramp going in there, so you can have the ramp either folded up or extended, as you can see there. There it is folded up, and there it is extended. So it's all looking very nice. Then we've got little pitot tubes going in here, some separate antenna parts, which is nice to see rather than have them moulded in the fuselage. And then that's it, basically. So we've got it sat there, open up with the nose gear down, sat open up with its nose gear kneeling. And then we've got our colour call-outs. So we've got Antonov AN-225 markings 8th 2009 to 8th 2016. So that is that one there. So can't really see a massive difference. The difference is in the writing and the logos. You can see here we've got the there's an extra symbol here. So there's an extra few symbols on this one. It's nothing much different. And this is 9th 2016 to present. So depending on how you want to build your model. And then going over the page, we've got the common data here. This is stencil data. So just all the stencils going on the engines there. And then we've got some more. No, we've got no stencils underneath at all. Yes, we've got one decal there. We've got some stencil data here. And we've got the lovely polished aluminium leading edges on our wings and tailplanes. So there we go. That's the instructions, and quite a lot to talk about with not a lot of plastic. So let's have a look here. So we've got sellotape closed bags. So let's have a look in these bags and see what we've got. I love the way Revell sellotape the bags together, because it means you can open them and close them back up. And also they're not those wrinkly things like Edard uses and everybody. So what we've got basic here is a sprue of engine parts. You can see we've got our 12 halves there of the actual combustion area of the engine, and then we've got our 6 intakes, 6 compressors, 6 intakes there, and then we've got a load of pylon parts here. So I'll give you some close-up detail on those. You can see there's some nice fan detail on there, but it's never going to look as good as the detail parts do from Metallic Details. I couldn't think of the name then. I've got it here, and here you can see I've made some up. You can see I've made one up. That's the front compressor blade, so that replaces this part here. You can see it's a lot nicer. So there we go. And that kit there is what's the number? MD14429, and that gives you 6 engines for this one. And as I said when I reviewed this, if you've got the AN-124, then you may as well get this, because it's only about £1.50 more and you get an extra pair of engines. So that's cool. So that's that sprue there out of the way. And then this one here, this is going to be our engine cowlings. We've got our turbine blades here at the back, tiny little pitot tubes and some antenna there. And then we've got that spar for the tailplane. Cockpit interior, which is nice for this scale. You know, it's not very complete, but it doesn't need to be in this scale. When you see the screen you're looking through, it doesn't need to be. And then we've got some lovely scribe detail on his engine cowlings. And then we've got this huge main spar, which is going to be very strong. Let's give you some close-up details here. There's the cockpit, looking very nice. I didn't notice on the decal sheet if we get an instrument panel or not. And then we've got some lovely scribe detail on there. Unfortunately, it's all white plastic, guys, which is a bit of a nightmare to film. But you can see there's your pylon detail on there. So they're all lovely. So into the second bag here. This is another one which is all taped up. Be careful not to break any parts. In fact, I think I'll cut these. Cut this tape because it's I don't want my hand to suddenly slip and break off any of these small detailed parts underneath. So let's have a look in here. Beautifully packaged. So we've got this sprue here, which is this is going to be our belly. Again, we've got some lovely fine detail on there, beautifully scribed, very, very fine for the scale. You know, some would say it shouldn't have anything there at all, but it does add some interest. So here we've got the ramp part here, parts of our nose gear. These are our main gear bays. I'll give you a close-up of them in a second. And then we've got the sides here. This is the outside of them. And then the inside here, no ejector pin marks. Really, really nice. Got some ejector pin marks in the back of there. I'm not sure if they're going to be seen. And then these are those bits that go on the side of the nose by the look of it, on the inside of the nose. Nose gear there. Gear doors by the look of things. So you can see there we've got the gear bay detail there, which is very nice. For 40 odd quid this was a bargain. And we've got the side detail there. Nothing too complicated, but then for what you're going to see of it, it's well adequate. So we've got our cockpit cargo bay floor there, which has got some lovely detail on it. And then we've got the cargo bay roof, which again has got some lovely detail on it. Another ramp part, which is nice. Ejector pin marks on the back of it, but hey-ho. Probably just give that a brush coat of Mr. Surface all over, let it dry, and then perhaps just go over a little sandy pad. What you can do is get one of these flory skinny sticks, cut a piece off the end of it, stick a pin in it, and just use that to get in those little tight spaces. And we've got our ladders here, which unfortunately are flash city, so they're going to need a good clean up or complete replacement. So I'll give you a close up there. You can see all the flash on those ladders. And there's our cranes there, all very nice. If you are going to go to town on this, probably replace these ladders with some Plastruct or something. So you can see we've got some lovely detail on the floor of the cargo bay there. Again, it's difficult to show you because of the white plastic. Very nice indeed. And then finally for that bag, we've got our multitude of wheels on our undercarriage, and you can see we've got our straight undercarriage here, and then we've got our leaning undercarriage here. You can see the legs get shorter as they move to the right there. Again, quite flashy, quite a pronounced seam line there, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that is unfortunate. They need quite a lot of cleanup. But then if you are going to build it when it's straight on its wheels, not leaning, these are a lot better than they are. So, and then we've got some little parts here which are quite cleanly moulded, but again need a little cleanup on their seams. And we've got this brace here that goes in the front of the nose, and that's also going to need some cleanup or replacement. Very nice indeed. We've got more interior wall detail there, access door there, and that looks like the roof of our front undercarriage bay. And this is the one, looks like the roof of the undercarriage bay if you have the nose up. So yeah, very nice. And we've got our wheels there, which are single piece, and it looks like none of them are sunken at all. Now some may say that the detail in these wheels is a bit simplistic, but if you look at the real aircraft, it's the same as the 124. They're very, very plain wheels. So let's give you a close-up of those wheels there. You can see it look quite nice. I do know Metallic Details do a nice aftermarket set for this, and they do some nice wheels and everything for it. So they do a complete undercarriage bay detail upset and all the resin wheels, and there's your nose wheels there, and bulkheads, and then the interior detail there with no ejector pin marks, which is a nice touch. So that's that bag dealt with. I've got our clear parts, so I'm going to open this one carefully so I can reseal it straight afterwards. So we'll see how these look. Again, we've got our tiny little portholes there. You can see they're very, very clear, although you probably would want to use the crystal clear trick on them. And then we've got our main screen there, which looks extremely clear. Let's give it the distortion test. This is a little rubber toy you get if you buy something from Plaza Japan. So let's give it a distortion test. So we'll look on here. We can see through, and there is some distortion there, but really nothing much at all. So there we go, but it's very, very clear. And then we've got our wingtip lights there. So these can go straight back in, and they go like that so that the screen doesn't get scratched. Little tip, put the tape down. There we go. Deal with that in a minute. Then we're on to our main bags here. So this is the great big fuselage bag, as you can see. Again, we've got sellotape here. The bag is barely big enough, so I'll cut through that tape there. I'll cut through that tape there. So we've got very large sprue. And yes, it just goes in. If I just get the fuselage in, so you can see the fuselage there. It is 20 inches long, that part of the fuselage, and that doesn't include the nose, which is going to come out on the side here. So we can see we've got some lovely fine detailing on there, and it's got a lovely texture to it. It's not glossy, but it's not like that Airfix, you know, sandpaper type finish. It's very nice. Tail planes, or the tail fins, should I say, and they're in halves. They're not single piece. But again, they've got some beautiful panel lining on them. The nose comes in two halves. Now, I haven't built that 124, and I haven't seen a build of this online. But something to be aware of, if you are building the 124, when you build the nose actually ends up narrower than the fuselage, so you end up putting loads of filler here to bring it out. So when I build my 124, what I should do is actually pack it out, put some packing in between on the bottom to pull the nose apart so it fits beautifully here, and then the only filler work you've got to do is underneath. Obviously if you're having the nose open, it doesn't matter. So there we go. And then on the inside, just plain, no detail at all, because basically the sidewalls are already there as separate parts. So I'll give you a close-up so you can see, or try and show you how beautiful this panel lining is. It's very nice indeed. Very nice, very crisp, clean moulding. You can get it on there, you can get the, and then look at the close look at the nose. Up inside the nose, a couple of ejector pin marks there, so if you have the nose open, probably do some work in there, maybe add some detail. But no, very nice indeed. So here we go. And we've got another, this is the penultimate bag. Bag here, this is our wings. It's got some wing detail there, which is very, very nice. Again, we've got this lovely texture on here. It's really nice. Makes me think about Zvezda's involvement. I'm wondering if this is actually a Zvezda tool. Got a little bit of a funny mould on there. That's nothing. A little sanding won't take care of in about 30 seconds flat. But yeah, we've got some lovely moulding on there. There's no stiffening inside the wings, so They may be a little saggy, but that's not a problem because that's probably how they were. And they have actually, you can see, I don't know if you can see it on there, they've moulded sag into the wing, which is a really nice touch. And wish there were some B-52 kits out there that were that nice. And again, we've got some lovely detail on there. If I can catch it in the light, we've got some beautiful scribed detail, which is really, really nice. And then finally, our last bag here. There we go. And that's our that looks like some sort of that could either be something from Star Trek, or it could be something from the sea. So yeah, my mind. Underwing detail again, we've got beautiful detail there, a lovely scribe detail on the top of here, and I just hope this is a nice fit along here, because if that is a nice fit there, then you're going to be made up. You've got no big seams to deal with here. I'm hoping this is going to be a nice seam here, or even you can clip the wings on. So we'll see that when we build it. There we go, you can see Revell Germany 2018. So it is a Revell tool by the look of it. Again, we've got some flashing here on the sprue, but nothing on the parts. It's just that one sprue has got flashing on it. So there we go, guys. That has been the Revell AN-225, and I've lost the instructions. From the Revell AN-225 in 144 scale. Go get yourself one. It's a big old beast of a kit, and probably one you'd want to hang off your ceiling, really, because you're going to need a hell of a shelf to keep it on. But yeah, beautiful model. It's a shame there's not a boatload of 144 scale sort of cargo and that out there. If there were a load of Russian trucks and stuff, or anything really, you could have going in there. You could make, I suppose you could make your own. But there are videos on YouTube of this thing swallowing up some huge parts and huge stuff for taking all over the world. And the 124 features on there a lot as well. So thanks for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to see a review of that 124, then let me know in the comments below, because there's not a lot of, they don't get a lot of coverage, these Russian cargo planes, particularly not in English. There's a few reviews online in Russian or Ukrainian. They are different languages, they're not the same. So there are a couple of reviews out there from iModelist RU, and then there's one which is called Alex or Alken or something. Great reviews he does as well, but as I say, it's all in Ukrainian or Russian, so you can't understand a word they're saying, but some of the building they do is beautiful. So again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, if you didn't like what you saw, hit the like button anyway. Bye for now.